Wife, tell me if this sounds familiar to you. You walk into the grocery store with a list and a budget. You walk out with a full cart, a long receipt, and somehow an empty bank account. Like, even if you're doing a budget, your line item for your groceries is empty and you had to move money from one category to your budget category. If it feels like every single trip costs more than the last one, and when you're the wife managing the household budget, that is exhausting. But here's what's the good news. You don't have to sacrifice quality or feed your family beans and rice every single night to save money on groceries. Today, I'm going to share 6 powerful ways to cut your grocery bill without cutting out the meals that you and your family love. Hello, ladies. I'm Reese. I help Christian wives who manage the household budget find peace with their money, unity in their marriage, and confidence in their role as Proverbs 31 women. And if groceries are the category that keeps blowing up your budget, you are in the right place. Now, all right, let's get into the first strategy. This one sets the tone for everything else. Tip number 1. The biggest budget buster at the grocery store is walking in without a plan. Let me tell you about myself. I learned this years ago. If I go into that grocery store, and the one we have where I live is huge, it's like a whole shopping center. If I go in that store and I don't have a list, I'm telling you, I will see everything that I think I need. And then I'm like, do I have that? I'll throw it in the cart just because I'm not sure whether I have it or not. I used to go in the store hungry because I didn't believe what they said. Oh, you can, when people said that you shouldn't go into the store being hungry, I thought that was like, whatever, that doesn't affect me. But let me tell you, if it affect me, it affect you too. It's a psychological thing. If you go into that grocery store and you are hungry, you're going to want to try chips that you never tried before. You're going to want to try rolls you never tried before. So take it from me, sister. Go into the grocery store with a plan. Have your list made out. When you shop without a meal plan, you buy things you think you need or things that look good. That's why you go in for the milk and bread and come out $80 to $100 lighter. So the way to fix this, plan your meals before you shop, which means you need a grocery list before you go into the store. Now, here's how simple that can be. Pick 4 to 5 dinners your family will eat this week. And for me and my husband, I like to get meals or planned dinners that we can have leftovers. Now, some of you don't eat leftovers, but when my husband and I were on the struggle bus, we learned to eat leftovers. And because that's what our brains got used to, now we are fine with having leftovers. And those are the best meals for me because guess what? I don't have to cook. So pick 4 to 5 dinners that your family will eat this week. Look through your pantry and the freezer first. Some of the ingredients you probably already have. I'm just going to be transparent with you. And I don't want you to do this. That's why I'm telling you. Y'all, sometimes I can be making my grocery list. And if I am too lazy to get up to see if I have the ingredient, guess what smart me do? I add it to my cart and then I end up with 2. But I'm working on that habit. I need to make my list when I'm motivated to make my list. So I want you to make your grocery list when you feel like doing it. Don't do it when you're tired. Don't do it if you're aggravated. Make your grocery list when you're fresh. You feel like planning your meals. You feel like going to check your pantry and your freezer. So you have to pick the right time to make your list. So make your list based on only what's missing. So for example, if you plan to cook spaghetti on Monday, tacos on Tuesday, and chicken stir fry on Wednesday, you can reuse ingredients like the onions, the rice, and the tortillas. That saves both money and waste. So I got a quick tip for you again. I said it before, but if you didn't see it at the beginning of the video, Never shop hungry. Every bag of chips and bakery cake will start calling your name, them smells, and you'll blow your budget before you even hit the produce aisle. Tell me in the comments, are you a meal planner or do you just wing it at the grocery store like I used to do? And sometimes now, like if I get busy and I don't make a grocery list, right? Or if I don't meal plan, I'll try to pick meals that I know how to cook and I don't have to follow a recipe. And so that's easy. So, like when you follow recipes, you have to make a grocery list. But when you don't have the time to do recipes, then you have to cook or buy things that you already know how to cook and it'll just be quick for you to do. But still try not to double buy ingredients. So even when you do it that way, you still need to check your freezer and your cabinets to see exactly what you need because we're trying to cut out waste so that you can have more money in your budget. So, tip number 2, shop the sales and use the digital coupons. I remember when we used to use paper coupons. I used to get the Sunday paper just for the coupons and then I would throw the paper away. Well, now everything is mostly digital. So, your favorite grocery store, even if you have to ask someone, a manager in the store, find out when they put their sales out, and then you use their digital coupons. And some grocery stores, most grocery stores, let you use digital coupons from other stores. So you don't have to be an extreme couponer like I used to try to be to save real money. Every store has sales and digital coupons built into their app. So here's what I recommend. Check the weekly ad before you shop. Know the day that they put their sales out. Base 1 or 2 meals around what's on sale. Stock up on your pantry items or meat when they're marked down. And if you can afford it, maybe buy extra and put it in the freezer. And then maybe the following week or 2 weeks later, you can cook that meal again. So, for example, last week chicken breasts were $1.99 a pound. So I bought extra. I put them in Ziploc bags and I froze it and I saved almost maybe $18 to $20 compared to buying it at a later full price when I was buying something for a particular meal. So even saving $10 to $15 per trip adds up to $600 a year. That's Christmas paid for if you're smart or a starter emergency fund. And our grocery budget for most people, that's one of the biggest areas, one of the most expensive areas where we can cut back and save money. So I'm not just telling you this to be telling you this. I'm telling you what I know. Our groceries cost more when I don't shop with a list and when I don't meal plan. And your grocery budget, it is something that you can control where you can add extra money into your budget. So please consider meal planning. I love to get on Pinterest and look at their recipes, and I try to look at recipes that don't have a whole bunch of ingredients or ingredients that I've never heard of before. You can find a lot of good recipes on Pinterest. You can print the recipe down and then you can just jot down the ingredients that you need. But again, make sure you don't have it in the cabinet already or in the freezer. So, do you use your grocery store's app? Comment yes or no below in my comments. I want to know if this is new to your routine or part of your routine. And if you do use the app, let us know if you think the app helps you so that we can get engagement and we can grow our community so we can help each other, wives. So now let's talk about one of the sneakiest grocery budget killers there is, and that is called takeout. We can reduce takeout by prepping easy meals. And I'm telling you, on the weekend, that's when I have a leak in my budget because on Fridays, I think I'm too good to cook. And a lot of times we don't have leftovers. And on Saturdays, if I'm doing my errands or doing other things that I need to do, lunch, we grab a bite out. In the afternoon, by the time I get home, I don't feel like cooking dinner. So I'm not just talking to you. I'm talking to myself too. I have got to get better with takeout, especially on the weekends. So, how many times have you grabbed takeout because you were too tired to cook? I've done it. It happens to all of us. But here's the problem: one fast food run for a family of four can cost between $40 to $100. And now that we have Uber Eats and all these people that can drive around and bring us the food, you got to pay a trip fee. So the trip fee alone make me say, oh no, I will go pick up the food myself. But I know for a fact, a family of four, you can get pizza for the four of you and get the wings and the breadsticks. You're looking at almost $100 if you have it delivered. Do that twice a week, and you've spent over $300 a month just on takeout. That's a leak in your budget that you could put that $300 in your savings or apply it to your debt. So, how do we fix this? Keep backup meals ready at home. And this is what I mean. Keep pasta, sauce, and garlic bread on hand. And I get the frozen garlic bread. That way, I don't have to worry about it going in the cabinet and spoiling. That's a $6 dinner instead of a $40 takeout. And don't forget, you'll be cutting out that delivery fee also. Stock frozen veggies and rice for your quick stir fry. You can buy rotisserie chicken. You can stretch that into 2 or 3 meals. And here's a bonus idea: double a recipe when you cook and freeze half. I try to do that, and sometimes it works. But sometimes when I freeze it and take it out, sometimes it don't taste as good. But my husband, he'll eat it anyway. And I do too, because I don't want to cook again. So cook once, eat twice. Future you will thank you. And I know some of you are very well in the kitchen. So I hope that some of these principles I'm giving you is going to make you think like, oh, this is a way that I can plug some of these holes into my budget. Proverbs 31:15 says, she provides food for her family. Sometimes that provision looks like a simple, quick meal that saves both money and stress. All right. Tip number 4 might feel uncomfortable at first, but I'm telling you, it works. Try the generic brands of your store. I'm telling you now, I do my generics because it don't bother me. I've gotten used to it. And why am I going to pay extra for the name brand pepper when I can get the store brand pepper and it still is pepper? Sometimes the easiest way to save is simply changing to where you shop. If you're always going to the high-end store out of habit, you could be paying 20 to 30% more without even realizing it. Stores like Aldi, Walmart, and Costco often have the same items for much less. And generic brands, like I said, I've gotten accustomed to it. I don't have nothing to prove to anybody, and I am fine with using generic brands. And if you and your husband are on a mission, and if you're trying to plug the holes in your finances, and you're trying to pay off debt, or you want some extra money in your budget, try generic brands. Most of them are made in the same factories as the name brands. The only difference is the label. Try this challenge. Swap just 3 name brand items for generic. See if your family, even you, notice the difference. Chances are you won't. And guess what? If it's saving you money, you're not going to care because your taste buds can get adjusted to the generic brand. I'm telling you. What's one generic item you actually prefer over the name brand item? Drop it in the comments. And for me, that could be pasta. Now let's move into tip number 5. This one creates instant discipline. Set a cash limit. And remember, most of us have cell phones. You have a calculator on your phone. If you're one of the ones that go in the store, just use your calculator on the phone. Make yourself a budget. But what I do since COVID, my daughter taught me this trick. I do curbside. So if you do curbside, you can control most of the time, generally, a general idea of what you're going to spend. So when you look at your total, when you do curbside, if it's starting to get too much, then you know you can cut some things. When you go in the store, use your calculator and you'll know when you need to start slowing down, or if you need to put something back, or if you need to wait until next payday. If groceries are where your budget keeps breaking, go old school and use cash. But now don't get to the register and shame yourself. If you're going to use cash, make sure that you're using your calculator. So this is how it works. Withdraw your grocery money for the week or the month. This is cash. Put it in an envelope. When the cash is done, you're gone. You're done. But remember, use a calculator. This one habit forces you to ask, do I really need this item before it hit the cart? Some of my clients have saved $200 a month just by switching to cash for groceries. I promise you it worked, because a lot of things you think that you need, when you got cash, you figure out you don't need it because you don't want to spend all of your cash. But when you're using plastic, you're more apt to swipe that card because it doesn't feel real. It's your card. And because I always like to give you a little more than promise, let's add a bonus strategy. Tip number 6, buy in bulk, but be smart about it. Bulk shopping can be a blessing or a budget trap. Go into Costco and you'll know what I mean. Go into Sam's and you'll know what I mean. The key, only buy in bulk what you actually use. Things like rice, beans, flour, or even toilet paper are worth it. But don't buy a 20 pack of something your family might not never finish. That's waste, and you're going to have to throw it away. And I don't like to throw food away. So, wife, groceries don't have to drain your entire budget. When you plan your meals, shop sales, prep easy dinners, try generic brands, set a cash limit, and buy smart in bulk, you'll see real savings without sacrificing your family's quality of life. So here's your challenge for this week. Pick one of these 6 strategies and try it on your next grocery trip. Download my free financial restarter kit. The link is below for more tools to reset your budget and free up some money fast. And tell me in the comments, I'm saving on groceries this week so I can celebrate with you. And if you did save some money on your groceries, come back to this video and put in there how much you save, because I want to encourage other women and let them see how a grocery budget can drain them. Even if you have a budget, if you don't stay within that budget, then you need to plug the holes. So if you try some of the strategies, please come back and let us know how much money you save. We can turn this into a game. If this video encouraged you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with another wife who needs these tips, because together we are Proverbs 31 wives, faithful, fearless, and financially wise. I'll see you next time. God bless you, and thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.